Hello boys, in the previous sessions we have seen most of the basics pertaining to the solid state. So I'm again going to make a recap of the same thing because what we're going to see in the coming sessions entirely depends on the present and previous lectures and the fundamentals which we have dealt with. So unless you're not strong in the fundamentals, it will be very difficult for you to understand the basics of advanced crystallography. So here I will again switch over to the types of crystals and Bravais lattices there. So you can see that we have got the six basic types of crystals, right? The six basic types of crystals have been classified further into the Bravais lattices. This is it, the Bravais lattices. So you can see that when alpha equal A equal to B equal to C and alpha equal to B equal to 90 degrees, it's a simple physics system. And within that we have the body centered. This is a simple cube. Okay, this is a body centered cube and this is a face centered cube. That is to say that a cubic system can accommodate three more such systems. So likewise, a tetragonal system in which you have a different C, only C is different there, whereas A equal to B and alpha beta equal to 90 degree, you can have only the simple cubic system as well as the, it doesn't become a cube but it is a tetragonal because one side is elongated here, right? So you have got a FCC with a body BCC with an elongated C, right? So likewise we have got orthorhombic in which A is not equal to B is not equal to C, that is this is not equal to, this is not equal to, and this is not equal to. So these three lines are not equal, but however they carry this 90-degree angle. And in this you have not only have this simple cube type, body centered cube type, face centered cube type, but also you have got one separate type in which only two sides have got the two face, two faces are there. This is one face that is extra and this is another face that is extra. So these type of crystals are, you come along for your uh, future references. Okay, so in the same way you can see that hexagonal also is there, but in the hexagonal you will have 120 degree as the gamma as equal to 120 degree. And then there you have these two types of the crystal. One is purely hexagonal and the other one is the trigonal. So you can imagine a trigonal usually is you will have some kind of triangle or like this. Okay, how do you get that type of triangle there? So this is the kind of view you have to face. This is for example, you can see that these three sides and these three, they make a kind of similar type of arrangements. So they make up a kind of prism. Okay, so likewise you have monoclinic in which you have no sides equal, but alpha and beta is equal to gamma, and you got the body two face centered and only the simple cube is there. Then last one, simple clinic, fully asymmetric, nothing is equivalent there. You got only a simple cubic system there. So in all you will have 3 plus 2 5, 5 plus 4 9, 9 plus 2 11, 12, 13, 14. So you will have 14 types of crystals rising from from six basic types. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5 6 and that is this 14 types is what you call it as the Bravais lattices. Okay, Bravais lattices is, that is what you call as the 14 types. Is there any other thing missing there? Simple, just a minute. Cubic, orthorhombic, hexagonal, monoclinic, trigonal, tetragonal. One more. is missing there, or what? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. I think we will see that later. So here again, so this is not moving. Here you can see how we have the simple cubic system. So as you can see that here is also the seventh type of crystal. This is the actually a kind of a rhombohedron. Okay, so we got 7 types: 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7. That's 7 types of crystals is what you see there, plus 14 Bravais lattices. The 14 belong to these things which you have seen. So 3 2 5 5 plus 4 9, 9 plus 2 11, 11 plus 12 13 14, 9 plus 2 13, and here you got 14. So that is the basic crystals. And I'm not going to elaborate on this, but you can always imagine how these circles have just been enlarged, right? That enlarged things are there. So when you enlarge them, you can just see this part is having only this is the only part. This part we call it as the 1/8, because you can place 8 such cubes there. Okay, so that 1/8 is being drawn there, and then within that this particular void you have got a big cell there. So that cell is what you call it as the body centered cube. Okay, body centered cube there. And then the examples is given by FV and E and LI, and FCC you are given there by CU, EG, and almost all these things are there. So you can see the FCC is different here. You got all faces, have see 3 faces are visible here. There is no such thing here. Okay, this kind doesn't exist here. So we are going to classify them accordingly. So here is the BCC and FCC cells, conventional cells, not primitive. Primitive means that basic, which is the primary, and they are not derived things. So in fact, what happens is if you bring 2 or more such cubes there. See, for example, if you bring such cubes here, here is one cube, here is the another cube. Okay, here is the third cube there, and here is the fourth cube there. So similarly, you can place 4 more cubes on top, 4 more cubes on top like this. Above this, above this, above this, above this. So you can have 8 cubes, and 8 cubes may give rise to several patterns like this. So you can see that there is going to be a tetrahedral pattern also. For example, you can just connect them like this. Okay, you can see a tetrahedral pattern, and you can even see hexagonal close packing, and you can even join together to get a crystal like this. Okay, square planar, but within that you have got another cell there. This cell may be connected with another cell, so you can get a square pyramidal type of lattice also, and also you can get a hexagonal close packing as well. That is the most important thing. Here is a view. The cubic lattice unit cell can be shown by the lattice points. So you must remember the lattice points. The lattice is the unit that gets repeated. Okay, that is what you have to, that gets repeated. So here are these things. Then you can see how the space in between can be accommodated like this. Space can be, so that will constitute a FCC. This will constitute a body center. This is the center of the body, BCC, and this is a simple cube there. Okay. The next thing is you must always remember is the uh, atom packing factor. Geometric properties of the cubic lattice is given by these things. So here I would like you to remember the number of nearest neighbors there. This is going to make a very important point, because how many neighbors are there, depending on that you can get the hexagonal close packing type of arrangements, or trigonal type of arrangements, or trigonal bipyramidal, or tetragonal, or tetrahedral type of arrangements are there. So almost this is the most thing that you should also remember. This 0.524 means it is a simple cubic system. 0.680 means it is a body centered cubic system. 0.704 means it is a FCC system, and that is decided. This atom packing fraction is what is these numbers, this number and this number and this number, and it is given by volume of atoms in the cell divided by volume of the unit cell. So how much it can accommodate, how many you have been accommodated. Okay, so we'll go to the next slide in which I'll explain the how you can see this primitive cells for BCC and FCC. So your uh, next topic deals with some topics like octamolybdates MO07 or V2O5 or um, chromium Cr2O7. Such type of crystals belong to this type of things, in which you got one cube here, another cube there, and that cube there. These three cubes are in different directions. That is why it is connected by a different cell. Here is also a space and here is also a space. So that is this is equal to this one. So you can see there is a gap here. This one is a gap, right? This one is a gap there. So a cube is placed here, another cube is placed here, another cube is placed here. But if you want to see some arrangements, you can closely get a hexagon like this. Hexagon like this. So some atoms are in such a way that when you change the perspective, you're going to see some hexagonal type of arrangements. And even if you can see that this can give rise to some inverted type of this cube. So within this cube, if you have some other arrangements like the outside the center of these cubes, you can join them and always have a very good inverted cube also there. Okay, so this cube is what you call as the primitive cells. You don't go into the uh, details there of the equation, but I just want to make you sure that this is what we are going to visualize. Okay, so here is a plane, the particular plane there. So this plane, you can define this plane based on the XYZ axis, and within the space that is accommodated there, you can accommodate so many systems there. See, for example, here is a hexagonal system. Okay, the hexagonal system means you will have one atom here, another atom here, another atom here, another atom here. These atoms are not bonded, but arranged. So here an important point is within a simple cubic system, you can have 12-phased structures, 12-phased shape, and that is what you call as the icosahedron. This is going to have a 12 phase. Okay, so this 12 phase is again connected by means of one hexagon and one square. Hexagon and square. There are also possibility that hexagon can be connected by a pentagon also. That gives rise to the famous football type of crystals, and that is the fullerene molecule. You can see that this fullerene molecule is completely hexagonal. If you uh, take the fullerene and substitute connect it by and see its structure, you'll see the hexagon and the pentagon type of arrangements. Okay, so a this is a simple cube. If you have got some space and atoms are arranged like this, this thing happens because you don't only have SiO4, you'll have Mg2, SiO4, Si2O7 like that. So how do you accommodate magnesium, silicon and oxygen? Magnesium may all be in two places which like this. Magnesium may be in two places, and then silicon may be at something like the center here, and then oxygen may be at four different places, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So these five different type of atoms can be accommodated with by different arrangements. So within the cube you have a cube, but if you view, you can see a hexagon there again. You can see a hexagon there again. So it is a weaving angle. That weaving angle is described here also, in which you can see that this cube has been broken down into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8 smaller cubes, and each corner has been connected. This is the connected and this is connected to the outside, and then again you get a a trapezium type of arrangements. So this, unless you are aware of the basic crystals, it will be very difficult for you to analyze them. Right here is that. Right here you can see. This is a Wigner-Seitz primitive cell for a face-centered cubic, and the arrangement has arisen from a simple cube. Okay, you start with a simple cube, get 4 such cubes, and the arrangement pattern will go like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. You can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you can have 12 such faces there that we call it as the octahedron. And likewise, if you have instead of taking the primitive cells alone, you can just imagine these particular points there. Okay, if you view from this particular side, you get a particular thing called as the hexagon, and if similar atoms are there, you again go back to the cubic system. Okay, so within the cube, you can have hexagonal arrangement also. And then Miller indices are there. In a crystal lattice, there are set of parallel planes. The distance between adjacent lattice planes yield distinct X-ray attraction patterns for structural determination. And a plane set can be described by 3 indices called as the H, K, and L. This is nothing but this is one particular plane. You can see the side plane, and this is the center plane. These planes do not exist. You just draw it virtually. And then this is another plane which connects both X, Y, and the Z axis. So if you draw such thing, if an atom comes in all these particular places, then you say you have got a XYZ plane, or you got a plane in which you write it as 111, and you write is 110, you write is a 100, because atoms are present only in x-axis. Here atoms are present in x-axis and y-axis. Here atoms are present in x, y, and z axis. This is the pattern that you get from the X-ray diffraction studies. And this pattern is doesn't show you the types of bonds, but just show you the density of the electrons. Okay, this is not part of your syllabus, but I'm just telling you the same thing, right? The procedure to determine the Miller indices of the plane. Find the intercepts. Intercepts means the plane. You start from here. Okay, you keep on moving into this particular plane. You get an intercept here. This particular point is called as the intercept. This is also an intercept, and this is also intercept. So how many intercepts you get, that is given by n. If it is intercepting on plane A, plane A1, A2, and A3, just for the sake of simplicity they are given. A1 can be X and A2 can be Y and A3 can be Z. So in the place of X, Y, Z they are taking A1, A2 and A3. How many numbers are there? 3 such planes are there. You can have one more cube like this, and you can have one more cube like this. So if you have 100 cubes, you can write 100 A1 and 100 A2 like that. Okay, and then you just divide by 1 by n1 and n2 and reduce 1 by n1 to 3 integers. That is the HKL. You will get some numbers that is called as the Miller indices. So here is an example that is here. Find the Miller indices of a plane ABC, where you got n1 equal to 1, n2 equal to infinity, n3 equal to infinity. Means you cannot find there are lot of such lot of atoms there. Okay, but you got only one. I mean, you got only one n1. That is the one atom. There may be one atom in the x plane only. Okay, so then you put 1 by n1, that is what you put. 1 by n1 equal to 1, 1 by 0 equal to 1 by infinity is equal to 0, that is what you have written. Again 1 by infinity equal to 0, that is what you have written. So the Miller indices is 1, 0 and 0. So the plane is 1, 0, 0 plane. That shows that x axis has got one atom and y and z axis do not have those particular atoms. Find the Miller indices of the plane, and you can see that some common planes there. Simple cubic lattices are there. Face-centered cubic lattices are, BCC lattices are there. So usually we draw a particular cube, right? Usually we draw a particular cube like this and place an atom, and we call it as the BCC atom. But what is happening is we draw a particular plane like this. We draw a plane like this and see how many atoms are present there. How many atoms present in plane? atoms present in plane. But you can see that there is only one atom. So every body-centered cubic will have one atom in its center plane. The next plane will be 0, and then it will keep repeating 2 0 0. But it is be connecting to it will be connected to two axes. What is that plane? This x-axis and this is y-axis. So these two x and y axis give rise to property 2. Okay, so you just add them up. So keep in mind, don't remember all these things, just keep in mind how you define the plane. If you can draw any plane here, so in a simple cube you can connect these three and you can connect this, and you can just or you forget these two, just find out the simple cubic plane. This is a 100 plane in which you got only uh, one atom in the x-axis, x plane only. Okay, this is 110 plane because it is cutting x-axis as well as y-axis. Here it is cutting only the x-axis. Okay, and then you got 111 plane. That means it is cutting the x-axis, y-axis, and as well as the z-axis. Okay, so that is how you just find out the planes there. Here is a beautiful picture of the equivalent atoms. This only one plane. So only one plane means you get only one there, and the x-axis represents x, y, and z that we have defined by h, k, and l. By number of atoms, 1 by n we have defined like that. So here it is x, y, and z. Only y plane is having there. Here you write it as x, y, and z. Only z plane is there. Okay. So the same thing in a different perspective. Here it is in the front side, here it is the back side. Here is the right side, here it is the left side. Here is the top, here is the bottom. Therefore, you represent by just means by means of a bar to represent the opposite such things. Okay, and it is called as the directions present in the lattice. Directions in the that represented by UV. So you don't need this. I'll go to the next slide there. Here is the main thing, very important thing there. You can see that sodium and chloride are arranged in a particular pattern like this, and this actually, if you take up one particular plane, sodium and atom will be from this particular side. Okay, this one is this one. So I will write 1 2 3 here. So I will write 1 2 3 here, 4 and 5 here, 4 and 5 here. So you can see that 4 is here, you see all of them in the line, but actually what is happening, the size of size of Na is very small, therefore it is in the center. So chlorine is very larger than, so you can accommodate that. So 2 here, if Na is 6, this will be the sixth atom there. Okay, so that particular arrangement in a particular plane, x5, x plane will be something like this, and a real picture will come up like this. So likewise, you can see this CS structure, which is a body-centered structure because you have got only one atom at the center. That particular atom is here. Okay, these two are similar. So if you add them up, you get a structure like this. Therefore, the actual crystal structure is represented, written by like this, and actual thing is something like this. Okay. So likewise, you can see the layers there. First layer, there, completely arranged things. So you can make out several things out of that. So I'm just trying to find out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can make a hexagon there, or I can just make a cube like this, or I can place the next layer, B layer. B layer is blue layer. Okay, A layer is green layer. So just on top of these are all the empty space there, right? And just top of this, I can place another layer there. That is this present there. And then you can piece. Still, you can see some points there. Still, you can see some gaps there. These gaps. Okay, white. These gaps are called as the voids. And on these voids, if you place a C layer there, you get a different pattern like this. So first layer, second layer, third layer. Side view will go like this. Side view can be like this. Remember, the first layer is A, second layer is blue, third layer is red. And that if you draw, you get a structure like this. So likewise, the pattern can change. If you have only first layer, second layer, third layer is the same as the first layer. First layer and third layer are same. Then you get a XCP structure. If you draw it, you get a structure like this. Okay, that's all. What happens is, usually we confuse these type of structures often, and it all depends on the arrangement of the atoms. So these type of structures are very common in your studies. I'll just highlight that and move over to finish my lecture here. You can see that there is a triangle there. Okay, I'll recall that this triangle, I just draw a triangle like this. If you go to the next layer, you may get a possibility of another triangle like this. Okay, now I can connect these two things because if they are orderly arranged like this, so I can connect these things 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So I'll get a trigonal pattern. Okay, but if I have the first arrangement is something like this, and the second arrangement is quite opposite of that, something like this, like for example like this. Okay, so what I do is I just view it from top. View from top. If I view from top, this one will be the same, and this one will be the second layer. Okay, this will go like this, right? So if we go like this, I'll have 1 atom, 2 atom, 3 atom, 4 atom, 5 atom, and 6 atoms. I can get a hexagon. Okay, but on the other hand, I can also get that if I can draw lines like this. Okay, so first phase, second phase, third phase, fourth phase backwards. Okay, 4 on top and 4 at the bottom. 4 plus 4, so you get a octahedron. So look at this particular triangle. I am translating it to trigonal bipyramidal, and then I am translating it to an octahedral plus a HCP pattern, and that depends on the type of the atoms there. So always when you try to look at the structure, try to look at a different layers. If the layers are A, B, C, then you get a different pattern, and if the layers are repeating like A, B, A, B, you get a hexagonal closed packing structure like this. Okay, hexagon I just mentioned that. If they are not, it will be like a kind of a tetrahedron or a kind of uh, mix of both these two alternate layers. So the arrangement is depending on the bonded pattern plus non-bonded pattern, and all these are held together by some strong structure. So I stop with this. We'll go directly to our next specialized subject there. So I suggest that you again go through the same lectures and find out what is important in the visualization of the crystalline structure. Thank you for joining.